Hi guys, it's Mars. Just wanted to walk through the cheat sheet with you guys. I know there was a lot of information on there, but it's something that you can use anytime you want to. All right, the first bit of information that I want you guys to always have is when you're looking at some information given to you in a problem, you might see a nuclide symbol. Here we have the nuclide symbol for the element magnesium. You'll always see two numbers on the left-hand side of the chemical symbol, and there's a big number and a little number. The big number is always on top, and the little number is always going to be underneath. The bigger number is the mass number. It's a whole number, no decimals. It's the total number of protons and neutrons in that magnesium atom. The little number is always going to be the atomic number that tells you where it is on the periodic table, and it also tells you how many protons that element has. If you see a number or a positive or negative symbol that appears on the upper right-hand side, then this element is an ion, and that means it has a charge. Sometimes we'll get information in the form of an atomic diagram or a picture of what the atom looks like, and this gives us some information about the subatomic particles involved. The symbols that we use on those diagrams use usually a P or a P plus or just a plus for protons because protons are always positively charged. Electrons, you can see the symbol for those, they're always negatively charged, and neutrons are neutral or they have no charge. So you can see that's how we typically draw the symbol for those. You'll also see information about the mass of the atoms. AMU stands for atomic mass unit. Every proton and neutron weigh 1 AMU. Those particles are found in the nucleus of an atom, and that's what gives an atom its weight or its mass. Electrons, compared to protons and neutrons, weigh almost nothing. So we typically assign their mass as 0 AMUs because they don't contribute significantly to the mass of an atom. Next on our cheat sheet, we have the rules for counting subatomic particles. How many protons, neutrons, electrons an atom actually has. The atomic number always tells us how many protons an atom has. That's where it is on the periodic table, numbers 1 through 118. That never changes. Once you know how many protons, if we're talking about a neutral atom, then that is going to be the same as the number of electrons. Every proton is going to attract a negatively charged electron. So if you have 10 protons and it's a neutral atom, you should have 10 electrons. To figure out how many neutrons are in the atom, you just take the mass number, which if you take it off the periodic table, you want to round it first. You take the mass number minus the atomic number, the big number minus the little number. Next, I have a couple of definitions on there that you need to remember. An isotope and an ion, you need to know the difference between these two. Remember, isotopes have to do with atoms that are heavier or lighter than normal. It happens in nature, and it's just because they have a weird number of neutrons. An ion is an atom that has gained or lost electrons so that now the positives and the negatives don't match up. That's where the charge comes from. I also provided you with 3 different periodic tables that give you different information. The first one shows you which elements on the periodic table are metals, those are the ones to the left, and which ones are nonmetals, those are the ones to the right of that heavy black stair-step line. The next periodic table shows you different groups or families of elements are located. And the last periodic table, I worked really hard to try and find one that would show up big enough, but you can always zoom in. This one shows you the atomic number and the mass for every element on the periodic table. If I got one that had the words in there too, that would be really, really hard to read. So you may have to spend a little time familiarizing yourself with the symbols and what they stand for. Anyway, you can use this anytime you want on any quiz or test. I'd recommend you just keep it open in a tab so that you can refer back to it whenever you need to. Thanks, I miss you guys.